All right, welcome to the latest edition of the FPL America podcast. This is David Smith.
Travis Hoig.
Brian Shusko.
Gentlemen, we are here to discuss the hopes and dreams of the end of the fantasy Premier League season. That could be taken in multiple different ways. Forgive me for maybe leading your thoughts astray for a second.
No.
And look, we got 3 match weeks. So this is, if you're trying to catch someone, now is the time to, Brian, go broke or go home, sort of. And
yeah, that's exactly
sort of like what Arsenal's doing now, just going home. And so, it's going to be a fun close to the season. There might be a few chips left to play. I know we're going to talk about that. And we'll get things rolling here. But before we do, Travis, I know this is your favorite segment, is what's Dave going to talk about to start the pod?
I just not Costco again, please.
Costco was fine.
No, Costco was not fine.
Everyone can relate to that, Travis.
They can't.
Not everyone.
They don't have Costco in the European
I don't
Union.
even know what Costco is.
Yeah,
that's not
see?
true. I do know what it is.
He's a BJ wholesale club
it's
guy.
a BJ wholesale. It's BJ's. It's Sam's. It's Costco.
There's only a few of them.
Travis, not as many people maybe even know the band Linkin Park, but my son had been begging me for about 6 months.
I didn't realize that
to
when you
go
were
to
saying
a concert.
That's interesting.
And he broke me down, and so I said, you know what? Well, let's do it. So we drove to Raleigh, North Carolina last night, where we partook in a Linkin Park concert, and it was awesome. And
That's cool.
It was his first concert.
Oh, wow.
And he realized how awesome concerts are.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've never seen him so happy.
That's cool.
I would have paid triple.
That's cool.
To do that, to see him experience that. So that was really cool.
That's cool.
My son's 16 years old. So, yeah, he was over the moon. And good times. But that's it. That's all I got.
You taking him to Bonnaroo next year?
I don't know. I'm hoping the request. He wants to go see Blink 82 in October or
that
November.
would be kind of fun.
He wants to go to a Blink show. So
what is your son's deal with retro stuff?
Dude,
he's like really into the
born in the
retro gaming.
Born in the wrong decade.
That's funny.
He
good for him though.
Loves the second version of alt rock. Brian, is that fair? So there's like, you wouldn't put Blink. Brian, you're the music aficionado here. You wouldn't put Blink 182, Sum 41 in the original Nirvana category, right? Like Nirvana was kind of
grunge
speech.
Yeah,
I guess it was kind of grunge, but it was the first version of like alternative rock.
Wherever Blink 182, because Dude Ranch, I know that's not their first album, but that was the first one that had a song. I mean, I don't know that they had anything that was even close to a hit
radio
to that.
play.
And that would have been I'm guessing that's in the mid to late 90s.
Right.
Mid,
off the
probably.
top of my
head.
Mid.
Because that whatever that pop punk wave was that happened in like it was definitely whenever I was in graduating high school, starting college.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah, like 1975.
Like, you ever heard of 3 Days Grace?
I've heard that name. I remember that band.
Yeah.
Who opened for Linkin
They're
Park?
not current.
No,
Who opened for Linkin Park, by the way?
That's an old band.
Up and coming group.
Oh, okay.
And I thought they were okay, called Grandson. It is an older group.
I'd have to look that up.
Supposedly they're touring next year. He played some tracks for me, and I'm like, he's bringing up music from when.
You remember it from the radio?
No, one of their songs.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And
It's funny.
he is just jamming. So yeah, he loves that. It looks like we might be doing some more concerts coming up. But good time, great show.
There are worse things you could be doing. You could be doing K-pop, baby metal. There's a lot of things you could be doing that you shouldn't be doing.
I did something. Yeah, you're right. I did something last night that I haven't done before. As I'm pulling into the parking area where there's tons of parking in general parking, I rolled my window down and I said, "Hey." The guy says, "You can go straight or you can park right here." And the right here is a longer walk. And I said, He goes, if you park right here, you're going to get out quicker. And he said, in fact, if you park on the right side of the parking lot, you're going to get out immediately. And anyone going to a venue, ask the guys how you getting out first and go park there.
Was it
By
that
the
fast?
time we walked to our vehicle, and we left as everyone was leaving after the concert, after the encore or whatever. And so we're walking out with a mob of people. By the time we get to our truck, and it wasn't that far of a walk, it was probably, I don't know, 5-6 minute walk. I mean, you could see the venue. And we got in and literally drove out, and within 2 minutes of nonstop movement, I was on the interstate.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
It
was probably late too, so
yeah, but still, you had that many people leaving. They just did a great job at
That's
the Lenovo Center getting people out of there in Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out to the traffic people down there. I mean, it was an immediate out. It was unbelievable.
if you're a traffic person
That's
at
right.
the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina,
That's right.
hit us up
Well
on
done.
X
Well done.
so that we can give you.
Kudos to you. We'll give you a used bubbly can.
Oh yes,
from
we
the
do have
podcast.
one. It'll be. Can you put some bath water in there, Brian? Some of your bath
No.
water?
There's
Oh, okay.
If you
There's
rinse it out, it
two,
doesn't give you the same.
Yeah.
no. We've talked about this. There's two descriptions of seltzer that I've come to love over the years.
What?
I love
Are you
seltzers.
talking about
Two-
two descriptions?
two-
It's,
Brian tolerates
Comedic
them.
descriptions of seltzers. One
this
is
is way
that,
better than Costco.
One was that I think one of them had it was discovered that there was like pesticides or something like that. It was like a pesticide that ended up in the factory that makes like LaCroix or something like that.
Okay.
And the
If you work for LaCroix, don't
the
blame
hilarious
us.
but the comedian said, so that's what that taste is. Which I think
and
that's
then the
funny.
other
And
one-
then the other one is just a blanket description that that seltzer tastes like a drink from a future
Dystopian.
from a dystopian future
Yeah.
where emotions are outlawed.
Yeah, I don't care for sparkling anything.
I
I'm
love
just not
sparkling.
I think
into it.
that's-
I can't
I
do it.
think
I
that's still
resonate with
true.
so that's what that taste is.
Yeah.
Very much.
All right.
Hey, this is a great sports time of year, by the way.
In May here. So we recently had the
so-
Kentucky Derby.
I don't. Yeah,
Hockey
that's-
playoffs
Yeah,
are
that's
going
exactly
on.
where he was going.
No.
Kentucky
Basketball
Derby.
playoffs
No.
are going on. Cup match.
Horse racing is abusive. There's no
Oh.
there's no two ways around that
But the Kentucky Derby is a spectacle.
for sure.
Yeah, spectacle, but not in a good way, is it?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of should be on the bucket list to go to see a Derby at.
In Kentucky,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit, but
What's the ground? I can't think of it. Churchill Downs. Or no, yeah, is it Churchill Downs? Derby at Churchill Downs.
sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway.
Scott toilet paper grounds.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's the Elmer's glue grounds.
oh, you. It's
no,
the Hebrew national.
I was
grounds.
gonna say
I just got that, by the way.
you just got to watch possibly the best Champions League semifinal
no doubt.
games. Not yours,
Not mine. Not mine.
Yeah.
but Inter and Barcelona.
Inter
it
and
was pretty-
Barcelona.
It was
two of the
pretty
best
incredible.
games
I've ever
ever played.
Pretty incredible.
Absolutely.
Those two games.
Honestly,
were
that should have been the final.
unbelievable
That should have been
games.
the final.
No, but we would have been
Well-
robbed of a double of seeing it twice.
Yeah.
Who would have thought
That's
that the
true.
first game?
No, that's a good
could have been
point. That's a really
topped?
good point. That is
I mean,
a really good point.
The
Absolutely
reaction, whatever
incredible.
your reaction to it, probably was not even as much as
So-
you actually felt watching it. It was an amazing
Champions
game.
in Champions League, the possible best round. The semifinals are better than the finals because teams are going for it. Sometimes you
Yeah.
get to this final and you're playing not to lose. Things are a little cagier.
Yeah, and
The
Chelsea
semifinals-
wins
Or you
1-0.
have to play Tottenham.
Yeah, right.
And semifinals are
We watched that together. That was one of the most like
I
anticlimactic,
know,
boring
it really
games.
was. Especially after the previous
And-
the semifinal
yeah,
with
so-
Spurs and Manchester City, which was as exciting of a couple games as
Yeah.
you could have.
That was the
had.
same year. That was the corner taken quickly, I think, too.
Yeah, that
that
was
year.
where you.
That was
yes,
a wild
it
one.
should have been.
To your point, semifinals
It
were
should
awesome.
have
Yeah.
been Spurs losing to
Barcelona. Instead, one of the
Barcelona 5-0
greatest
instead
one of the
losing to
greatest
Liverpool 2-0.
Incredible.
football world football plays I've ever seen.
But then
Seriously,
you saw two of the best games ever. The NBA playoffs, which were the NBA felt dead in January or December and January. And
it always does.
Flipped the switch league wide in sometime in February and March.
They need
and
to
has
not do a
backed
regular
off.
season for NBA. No one
Honestly,
cares. No one cares.
Whatever is going on in these games is now switched into it's the upper echelon of sports. It's
crazy,
been amazing.
crazy.
As
Even
long as the
tonight,
Lakers aren't in it dogoing to matter.
That's exactly it. We all win because the Lakers are already out,
I
and
love
now
that.
the Celtics are down 2-0, which is this is going to be basketball Christmas here if the Celtics
It really
are out.
will.
And then the NHL playoffs. I don't know if you guys care about hockey or not. NHL playoffs has been fantastic.
Well, I know a little bit about hockey, not much. I do have multiple Canadian friends who are Leafs fans, and that's
And
probably
that's-
like
They
being
win
an
tonight?
Arsenal fan.
They were winning. Leafs winning.
Leafs hadn't won like a playoff series in like
Yeah.
20 years, and they won
Yeah,
one.
A curse.
Are they up
franchise.
2-1 now?
Well, they were winning game 2 is what he just said.
Yeah.
It was on. I thought it was
They
over
could've
by
been-
now. But
Yeah, and it's against the defending Stanley Cup champions, which makes it even more exciting.
Florida.
Yeah, the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Point being, this talk about lackluster end to a Premier League season feels like it just feels sad. There's
no title race.
no title race.
There's no relegation race.
They did win. Game over. They're up 2-0.
There's-
Nice.
Leafs are up 2-0.
Leafs are up 2-0.
There's
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Canadians are partying tonight.
And now you got to come back to this, decide whether or not to
well,
whether
Ryan,
or not
that's
you
what
want
we're
to
paid to do.
whether or not you
Us
want to
talking about this pays the bills.
take a risk on Marco Asensio. Whoa,
Don't do that.
Spice up your team. Whoa,
Right.
FPL. No, it's just that this is
I know.
That's the weirdest way to say
Should,
it.
should we just change this pod to not talking FPL the rest of the time, and everyone can just turn off and save themselves?
no. There's
No.
plenty. There's
We have
still
things to talk
decisions
about.
to
Hey, look,
make.
hey,
There's still-
There it is.
We got it. Obligatory Arsenal. That's what we need to talk about.
We can
Yeah.
start there.
Game week 35 just happened.
We just talked about-
game week 30. Yes, game week 35 just happened.
We
There's
have
only
36,
3 games
37,
left.
38.
36, 37, 38.
Correct.
We now know that there is no remaining double, thanks to the league doing their best to accommodate Spurs really
Yeah.
against Villa. So now that fun is gone. And so all that's left is for you to talk about Arsenal and you to talk about Liverpool, and then everybody to fall asleep.
And then,
No. We have lots to talk about.
Okay,
and
well,
then
It's going to be important.
Like NBA commentator Rob Perez says at the end of a series, Arsenal fans, this is a safe space. Let it all out, Dave.
Tell us what you got going on.
I'm sad. I'm disappointed and sad. If you would have said with the injuries that we had, hey, you can make it to the semifinals in Champions League, I probably would have said, I don't know about that. So we hadn't been there in a long time, just the semifinals.
Yeah.
And we're competing for Premier League titles. Okay, so we're not there yet. I think it's possible that we could get there and at least take second place, which you'd get nothing for except maybe a little bit more money when the league does its payouts. But it wasn't for all the other Arsenal fans, the other 3 of you that are out there, keep your heads up, because let's not forget that 7 to 8 years ago, we were in 7th and 8th place in the Premier League, wishing we could, number one, have European football, and then also wishing that we could compete for a Premier League title. And we have the last 3 years, and it's been close the last 2 years with the exception of this year. And so sometimes you need a little luck. We haven't had much, but I still think it's going in the wrong direction. Some people are like I was talking to my brother today, Matt, and he's crazy, and he knows it, but he's like, it's been 6 years. You got one FA Cup title. Like, you haven't won any trophies. Arteta needs to go out. I'm like, I understand what you're saying is fact, but it's been where we were to where we've gotten to, and we're in a position to compete possibly for a Champions League title, for a Premier League title. where we haven't been. And yeah, to win those titles, you gotta do some magical things, and they didn't happen. And but I don't know. I still think we're taking the right steps.
What's the payroll difference between PSG and Arsenal?
That's a good question.
I'm not saying that because the top teams spend a lot of money. It's not about that.
Right. Well, PSG redid everything when they let go of. They couldn't get anywhere with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, which sounds ridiculous, right? But there wasn't good chemistry there, and they have a lot younger team. They found the best Georgian, not state, country footballer.
He's incredible.
He really hurt Liverpool. He didn't hurt Arsenal that much, but he was really good. Just a nemesis. He looks. Not that there's anything wrong with looking Amish, but he looks Amish. with there's nothing wrong with that.
They're not listening.
Yeah. And they're not listening. But I'm not trying to offend.
What is there? Is there an Amish guy here? Apologizing to
the one from Pennsylvania,
the famously technologically savvy Amish.
Yeah, you're right. They're not hearing it. Anyways,
I don't want to sound offensive to any Amish who might be.
They took a Dembele who couldn't get his act together for whatever reason at Barcelona, and Doué and they got. Good grief, the goal that Fabian Ruiz hit today. I don't even know where he came from or whatnot, but they added a bunch of good pieces, and they it's really bizarre because they went from trying to get all the big names to, hey, let's just back this off and go find some guys who will really work. Arsenal beat them earlier in the year in the Champions League, but PSG, man, it hurts. I hate to say it. They won the series, so you go to the finals, you're the better team. But man alive, did Arsenal give some chances away. There was 2 goals they completely gave away today.
It's really funny.
The Declan Rice header and the Saka. But this is not a Champions League podcast. But
what's really funny about one of the things you just said was Fabian Ruiz, don't know where he came from. The funniest thing about that is
I don't know where he came from.
He was heavily linked to be going to Arsenal this time last year. Like heavily linked. Wow. All the Arsenal fan pages were like, he's open talks. And he didn't move.
Well, I don't have to hear about somebody to know if they're good or not. It's like that kid Doué they got. That kid's a stud, right? Yeah. So, anyways, there's tons of footballers out there. Oftentimes when, especially in the Premier League, the top clubs, you're always wondering, hey, we're going to sign this guy. Well, sometimes signing the biggest names isn't the biggest deal. No one ever, okay, League Ben probably knew who Gravenberch was, but Gravenberch comes into y'all's team. I never really heard much of him. And he came from Bundesliga, I think, correct? Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, he was with Bayern last, yeah.
So, he comes in and is awesome. Timber comes from, I think he came from PSV Eindhoven, right? Is that right?
I thought it was Ajax.
No, you're right. It was Ajax. So anyway,
he actually played with Gravenberch.
You can find guys. They don't have to be the highest name. Your fan base might be upset, but if they go out there and play, who cares? I don't know why I'm talking about this right now.
No, it's good. The bottom line is it was a really interesting match. You guys did a fair job of playing well.
It was obvious we didn't have a normal striker.
Yeah, right. And that's exactly what Henri said.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks that Kai Havertz, not that he is one, but he done pretty good over the last couple of years playing it.
Yeah.
And Jesus was out, and so, but that's life in the league. Sometimes injuries happen, or oftentimes injuries happen.
Yeah.
So
Arteta can rest in what he told all the reporters after the match.
That we were unlucky.
No, that you were the best team in Europe.
Okay. That he said that, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did not say that.
Yes, he absolutely said that.
Today he said that?
Today he said that. The clip is in the Slack group. Ben went ahead and put it in there. He says it after every loss, that they were the better team and that they're the best team in Europe.
Well, sometimes that happens.
The guy's delusional.
Sometimes
you are good, but the guy is delusional.
Sometimes the best teams don't win, Travis.
Yeah, kind of like how
how did
Liverpool
Chelsea
lost to PSG.
How did Chelsea win that Champions League a few years ago?
That is pretty true. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All right,
Dave. For
let's
fantasy,
reel this in.
Let's talk about
Fantasy,
Costco
Brian,
again.
For fantasy purposes, yeah. If you were to go to Costco and watch
Who would you
the
buy?
Champions League game, which TV would you want to watch? Dave, the question is, your team by team, I wanted to do team by team leaders of things. Arsenal happens to be alphabetically first. I don't know if you know that for the season, but I was kind of curious if anything stood out, and it's pretty obvious how standout Trossard remains. I guess the question is, now that you can be passed by Newcastle,
right, or City.
Yeah, City's actually the one I would worry
teams
more
that win out will pass you for second. I'm assuming all of the fears.
Well, that's assuming we don't win out.
No, I think it was in.
We have a higher goal differential.
I think it's in Newcastle's hands, though.
No,
I thought that somebody said that.
No, they are 12 goals behind us in goal differential.
Okay, so on points.
On points, they're Newcastle's
City is
63.
Yes, City's 3 points behind. Newcastle's 4 points behind.
Correct.
So if everybody wins out, that differential stays.
Yeah.
The same, right? So the issue is Arsenal can't screw up. But don't you have to play? Who do you have to play?
Well, you have to play Liverpool. So first of all,
if you don't win or tie, then you're in trouble. And if you do tie, then City can surpass you.
Correct. Assuming they win out. Which they have a cake schedule.
Dave,
they do. That's where I'm at.
So
the other thing is you have to play Newcastle, which could be a 6-pointer.
Oh, that's the
other issue. So
Newcastle wins out.
Yes.
If
Newcastle
wins out, then they will have beat you
3 times we've played them.
And it is at Emirates.
I hate to admit that, but that is true. Newcastle's given us more
So you have to go
problems.
to Anfield, and then you got to play your bogey team, Newcastle.
Scolding me for something that somebody else said
in my face.
The point is, everyone. I was sold Saka this week for De Bruyne.
Good move.
Saka to buy almost anybody was probably a good move based on the players you probably traded him for. But he started, and I think if you had asked me ahead of the game week, or if you had said Saka's going to start, are you still interested in selling him?
You would have not sold him.
I might not have sold him.
Right. I agree.
And might have gone somewhere else.
I was absolutely surprised to see that.
So there's that. There's that wrinkle. The second wrinkle is now you have to start your strongest lineup for the remaining matches.
Correct.
Which means Saka starts the remaining matches.
That's correct.
And so now, is it a dumb move to have sold him? Obviously form
I sold
matters
him for De Bruyne
right
2 weeks ago, so hasn't been bad.
Right, but either way, it's not like. So I think something like, because once you talk about your team, would you sell Salah
for Saka?
Saka,
probably.
No,
I might consider it.
I wouldn't.
In fact, I might do it.
I wouldn't.
Why not? Who has more to play for?
Is Saka on penalties? I don't think he is. Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Unless he decides to give them up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Salah has more to play for than Arsenal, truthfully, in terms of motivation and drive, right?
Yeah, but
he's on a historic season.
Yeah, but
he's got records in his sights. He's never going to be here again. This is his prime. He's not going to be in a better position than he is to break records.
Is he close? How close is he?
He's losing his best friend.
He won. He had two. You won that too.
Who's his best friend?
Trent.
It's not really his best friend. His best friend's
I thought it was Lovren.
That was his best buddy, but Simicast is his best buddy now.
That's a good pull right there.
That was a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard sell.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying if that's.
I'm definitely Homer. That's I would rather have Salah mostly because I know what he's capable
If that's
of.
a decision that you're contemplating, then your team is probably, I would say, pretty set everywhere else. But either way, it's just something that it's obvious Arsenal has to play the best lineup. Dave, Leandro Trossard.
The problem is I want Salah for the last week when I bench boost.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're playing Crystal Palace.
That's not a pushover though.
No, but is that final match week before or after the FA Cup final when Palace is playing City? So Palace is not changing anything. They don't want anyone getting hurt in that last game. If the is there any way we can find out
Yeah, I got it.
when the FA Cup final is it after May 25th? It might be before.
The FA Cup final is on May 7th, is the weekend of May 17th, which is why.
Oh, so it'll be way before.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's a full
no
week.
issue.
Yeah. It's
play there.
it's 8 days. So whatever.
Yeah, they'll play their team. It'll be fine.
Dave, in calendar year 2025, your number one player,
Trossard.
and it's kind of not close.
I know that's got to be where you're going.
Well, just say, like, I get that it's, I know, and we're, recency bias, whatever. I mean, and also Saka's now fit, but in this year, it's Trossard 41 shots. Your next closest is Martinelli and Odegaard, tied with 25.
Right. Well, so going back to match week 31, Trossard is on a 9-2, 16-8, and a 2.
Even since
He
Saka
started every single one of those games.
Even since Saka came back in game week 30, he's still tied for first in shots for Arsenal with 15. He and Martinelli have 15 shots each.
Can I, since we've thrown wrinkle out there, can I throw a wrinkle into this?
Yeah.
Because the stats, you're dead on, obviously. The stats are the stats. Trossard did not start today
Okay.
against PSG.
Is Kai Havertz fit?
No. Not that I know of, not yet.
Okay.
They were hoping he might be back for the final if they made it. For the Champions League final, but that is not happening anymore. So my thought is if Arsenal started their best team out there today and Trossard wasn't in it, that could have been also they knew that they're going to be putting balls into the center and they wanted Marino playing in the middle. So how they decide to go match up against Liverpool, I do not know. I would just be worried. There's a good chance. Now, I would guarantee this, he will play.
Okay.
Trossard will play. I just don't know if he's going to start. He did not start today in the Champions League.
Okay.
These are must-win games for Arsenal.
Right. And it's the same with shots on target, same since Saka came back. Dave, Declan Rice is in 2025. Declan Rice is second to Trossard in FPL points. Trossard's got 77 points. Declan Rice 62. Declan Rice costs $6.2. I would just say, I mean, this isn't an Odegaard bit, but he's $2 less than Odegaard and has outscored him by 8 points. He has 4 assists. Odegaard's got 5. He's created 27 chances, and Odegaard's created 30. So I guess the question is for points, is Declan Rice possibly your safest for minutes and somebody who's capable, like obviously he did against Bournemouth, showing up at the right place at the right time to smash one into the back of the net, and he's on every set piece.
That's true.
So I guess it's not like to me if you were picking, like I guess you'd have to pick someone like Marino on pure like hope.
Yeah.
Just to say, like, well, I'm just gonna take a wild stab that he's gonna start now. Saka is probably the best actual person to have. It's just a question of, how do you facilitate that? Because most people have sold him to make moves to other players.
Rice since match week 31, 25719.
You live with that for 6.2.
For 6.2, yeah. I mean,
Right.
Trossard's not that much more expensive at 6.8.
Right.
And ever since no one had, everyone's money's not an issue because there's no Holland around.
Yeah.
that I know of yet, and people are considering, at least considering letting Salah go. So,
and I would think, depending on what the news is, if you find out by Friday that there's the possibility of Haaland starting, it's going to be
there.
Yeah, right. And I think
he's been in first
team
in training, right?
Yeah,
right. But it's purely a fitness issue. Because then I think the question of does Marmoush finally get a break?
Well, I think he still plays in the wing.
They start together,
right?
They were playing together before.
Right.
It probably benefited Marmoush to have Haaland out there.
I'm sure.
So, no, I'm just saying like this is there's still plenty of people that have Saka, but I'm saying like this is crunch time for you. Saka's going to take your penalties. I would say like one of the for example, even like opposition box touches. It's Trossard and Martinelli they've just dominated the opponent box. Even since Saka came back, Saka came back and he had 34 touches in the box in half the minutes that Martinelli and Trossard played.
Yeah.
And so it's like 48 Martinelli, Trossard 37, Saka 34, and Saka played basically 200 fewer minutes than those two guys. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like it's very clear that he's back to his best.
He looked good today.
He
missed an open goal, but he did look good.
Right. So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like this feels like the kind of thing where you need him. He's clearly your best player. He's clearly fit again. Now I'm feeling a little bit of not regret of getting rid of him, but
Travis, who's going to have more fantasy points throughout the end of the season, Saka or Salah? From match week 36 on.
3 weeks of Saka, 3 weeks of Salah.
The hard part is that Arsenal have to play Southampton that final week. And Liverpool doesn't have any cupcakes like that. So I think it'll be closer. Liverpool does have 2 home matches, but one of them are at Arsenal. Honestly, I think I'd still shade towards Salah in that instance. The only thing that's keeping me from saying I'll take that bet is Southampton on the final week for you guys. Yeah, I think it's too. It could go either way too easily.
All right, Brian, you want to take that?
Are you? So the race is on. Is this your Liverpool time?
Not as everybody. Like who top 4
Liverpool
Europe? Who wants Europe? Who's looking for Europe?
Liverpool finished the race.
No, and the reason why I would
before everyone
the race
else.
for Europe.
Well, no, but the reason why I want to. I don't know what race. That could be any race.
That's why I was
a half marathon that you're running this week. I have no idea.
Ambiguous on purpose.
What I would want to know is the reason why I'm asking it now is because for Liverpool generally,
right?
I don't. Like I said when we were sitting here when we first sat down, I wouldn't know what to advise about buying, keeping, or selling any Liverpool player, period.
I wouldn't have anything
Diaz
to
owners.
do with any Liverpool player except for Salah.
Salah and Diaz, second and fourth most transferred out midfielders this game week.
Oh, wow.
Salah, 92,000 transfers out, and I would almost guarantee 92,000 people are not buying him. This is certainly a one-way transfer.
Can we see who has 92,000 brought ins? Is it possibly Saka? I just wonder.
Bumo and De Bruyne.
Okay.
Bumo and
which
De
makes sense. It's
Bruyne
Ipswich and Southampton.
and probably Bowen are your easily your most transferred in. Virgil and Trent are 4th and 5th most transferred out for defenders, but that's numbers that are significantly lower than Salah and Diaz.
Yeah. Liverpool defense looked terrible.
Your home away homes, you get the schedule to end. Home Arsenal at Brighton, home Crystal Palace. Do you want that?
Not really.
I mean,
not really.
I don't know,
take
man.
that
it's
over Liverpool, Newcastle, Southampton.
I think Arsenal's playing better than Chelsea,
Chelsea
Chelsea made them look pedestrian.
So that's the thing. Salah, for what it's worth, in the last 4 games, has taken 13 shots. So still first,
Pretty
tied
high,
for
yeah.
first for midfielders. And he's created 12 chances, which is a clear number 1 for midfielders. So it's not like he's doing, even though threateningly seems, I don't know, fine, not great.
I don't think Salah turns it off. I think the opportunities are there, and I think he's going for the jugular.
Also, Dave, last 4 games, Mo Salah, your top midfielder for expected goals, non-penalty or penalty.
That's interesting.
Either
well,
way.
that's after Saka, right?
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Expected goals, including penalties, 2.54, and he's got the exact
Take
same
the
non-penalty. He's got the same
Take
non-penalty
the bet.
XG.
Can't do it.
Saka on a 1.6. So, but also Saka's played 150 minutes less than Salah has. My guess is that number goes way up. If Salah
it's
and
points-
Saka had played
if it's
355 minutes each, Saka would probably might be ahead. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
It's
If
too
there's
bad
only
he's
way-
soft.
If there's only a way we could average that.
Do you want to know what it is per 90, Dave? Is that what
Yeah,
is
that's
that
what
what
he
you're
wants.
asking me?
I mean, I'm just,
Because at a minute, because I have to do a
instantly
minimum of
thought
200
that,
minutes.
That meme with that guy going like, and all the
There you go.
math symbols flying
Problem
around. his head.
solved. Per 90 in the last 4 games, your number 1 midfielder for expected goals, penalty or not,
It's Mohamed Salah.
Bukayo Saka.
Oh, okay.
0.73. Salah second on 0.65.
Okay.
That's substantial. Yeah. See? Like I said,
Take,
after
what-
Saka.
let's
It's
take-
close.
Take the bet.
No, because I would lose.
Exactly. Take it.
You
Take it.
Depends on how you slice things. It could go either way.
If you had the deciding factor of Saka's not on penalties and Salah is, and Saka's just a great player, you'd take Salah in a heartbeat, but they're
Yeah.
both penalty guys.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to think about that.
Okay.
I might hedge. I might bet against Salah rest of the season.
So the
Take
thing about
Saka and just hope that Arsenal has enough, since they are the best team in Europe,
yeah,
that
yeah.
they're going to win.
It's undeniable.
That they're going to win the rest of their games, and Saka can't avoid being involved. Everything must happen for him. What difference does it make if Salah does anything? Nothing. Does it diminish his great year? No.
No.
All he does is just not
still
break
one of
a
the-
record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He can get what, 2 assists and
Yeah,
have the
what's-
and do what he's trying, what he's
what's-
accomplished.
What's he behind trying to catch the record? How close is he?
There's a bunch of different records, so it's
Goals and
it
assists
really
is the
just
only
comes
thing
down
that
to- yeah.
anyone really cares about.
He's already beaten a lot of records, including Thierry Henry's. This is a minute long. We're not going to do that. I wish I would have queued up this soundbite because I've got the Arteta. They've been the best. We've been the best
reading
team in the Champions
It's
League despite
amazing.
losing to PSG.
The point is, you are not. Virgil scores a goal this
Right.
week, and still doesn't even crack the top 15 defender transfers in. Because I think everyone realizes what's the point of doing that.
Arsenal people are delusional, man.
Luis Diaz, Alexis McAllister
He's incredible.
has been your best
Just
player here
absolutely
for a
incredible.
while. He's
Incredible.
outscored Salah in the last 4 games
Incredible.
by a good
And
bit.
One of the
he
most
plays
underrated
unlike
players.
Luis Diaz.
Yeah. Luis Diaz, certainly disappointing for people who brought him in and got to see him benched.
Yeah.
All of that to say,
Yeah.
Stay away from Liverpool.
stay away from
Arsenal's
Liverpool.
probably not a bad one to go for. Saka could be useful to you. Trossard definitely will be useful to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Martinelli more likely
Let's
to
talk-
play than Trossard,
yeah,
though.
but that doesn't mean much. He's not going to score or do anything, is he?
It will probably just depend on who starts. I think Martinelli will start. It'll be does Marino or Trossard.
Do you get a lot of
start?
extra points for doing a lot of dancey sort of moves down to the touchline and then crossing it into
Yeah,
the white?
they're
If you're in a league that gives extra points for that, then Martinelli is your guy.
the Rock's probably going to start
I
one.
hate that, and you're right, but he'll probably be starting, and it'll be
Personally,
Trossard or Marino. And
personally,
All right,
I don't think that.
All right.
I don't think Declan is a crazy move. Hey, what are you doing with your defenders or goalkeeper? Absolutely not buying them, but are you selling them?
No, I have Kivior. I have Timber. I think my early night move here is going to be Timber out, Gardeval in.
Wow.
This guy is awesome because I was just getting ready to say we need to talk about Manchester City, and that's because
Not according to our list.
their race is on.
Ow.
They're part of the European race.
But Brian, to your
Sounds Aryan.
answering your question, I'm keeping Kivior.
Okay.
I have already night moved
You already might
to bring him in.
Oh, did you?
So it's hilarious that you
What
said
in the
that.
world?
We did the same thing last week and this week
That's great.
because I brought Bowen in too.
You guys
That's
are
so weird.
And we
right?
didn't even talk about
And-
it.
You
and
guys
we
are
both-
adorable.
I can't remember. Did we say
Twinsies.
Twinsies? I can't remember if we said last week on Night Moves who we were captaining.
We did, but I hadn't decided to go with Bowen yet.
I can't remember if I said I was
made
going
that
with
a
Bowen or
late
not.
call, but I did go
I think
with
it's
Bowen.
Bowen or Isak. That's what I said.
The
I
race
think
is
it's an
on. Dave, you're gonna probably still. No, I feel like Arsenal. How bad are the vibes?
Oh, good call.
It'll be bad for a day or two, but by the weekend,
Mm.
it'll be
It'll be
fine.
fine.
Who do you want to talk about first in the race? You want to just go straight to Manchester City?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go
There's
City.
not. I don't know that there's a lot to say about them. Like
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, right?
It's De Bruyne.
It's De Bruyne.
He
De
wants.
Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
There is an interesting discussion about whether or not he would play the last game of the season because of
De Bruyne?
because it's away.
De Bruyne.
So why wouldn't he play in the game?
I think it's just a question of
It's his
He'll
last
say
City
goodbye
game.
at home.
it's his
Be
last
done.
City game,
Away.
but it's away.
So
So there's no real.
What if they win the FA Cup? They're you presumably
they
they'll-
have to make top
they'll win.
4 at the moment, and they're not guaranteed that
So
yet.
wait. So FA Cup is after or before
Before.
the final game?
Well,
before.
we have 2 match weeks before we get to the last week.
I think there is.
So that
I think
doesn't
up
matter.
to
he still
this
hasn't
point,
convinced Chicago to buy him.
So I guess that's the question.
Chicago
There's
Fire.
I would say my thinking. I think I would have agreed with anyone who said I assume he'll play the rest of the season.
I
He'll
think
start
so,
every
too.
game the rest of the way and play a majority of minutes the
And
rest
he's
of
been
the way.
playing
That,
really
but
well.
he will. I think
Right.
he'll play every game, won't he? He'll play every game.
I think the question is if he definitely is leaving and they win the FA Cup. He's played his last Etihad game. He's leaving with a trophy, and last game week, unless there's a reason that they need to win,
At
or
Craven
like
Cottage.
the possibility of
There
them,
will be
the
a reason.
possibility of them not making Champions League spots.
There won't be. Unlikely that there will
Right.
be any possibility.
That's what
so
I mean.
He'll probably be fine.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
that's. I mean,
Villa
that's
and
reasonable,
Forest-
but
Okay, we have 2 match weeks before we even get to that point. And Villa and Forest can Ian Forest look go. You want to see a good schedule going out? Go look at. I think it was Forest. Go look at Forest schedule.
Yeah, but Nottingham Forest. We'll talk about that. I guess what
they're
I'm
on the
saying
list.
is,
They're in the race,
in the race.
and as we know, the race is on.
I think it's an understandable move to get him at least for the next 2 games. Like Southampton is the biggest
Yeah.
temptation. I think that's the biggest thing. I just am curious what happens if they are, if top 4 or 5 whatever is guaranteed, and they win the FA Cup.
Yeah, Target this week.
His last
the rest,
game,
the jury's out on. But
Right.
yeah,
He's
I hear
playing
you.
his last game.
Okay.
I think so.
Um,
All right.
Newcastle. Oh yeah, no,
Marmouche.
more of the. City.
if Manchester City was not playing Southampton this week, would you even have Marmouche in your team?
No.
But an attacker is a good call. The question you were talking about before, Holland could play,
Yeah.
and if you need to get minutes under his belt, this is a good championship team to put him up against.
I guess the question is if you find out, like, how would you possibly make up the money? You can't easily get
Not now. I'd have to sell Salah to make.
right. That's
You
exactly
want Saka
it.
anyways.
It's true.
But even that's only
It's
a
only
few
getting you
dollars.
$3, a few dollars.
Right. And it's not
Yeah,
enough.
that'd be close. You got to have money
Holland
in the bank
money-
right now,
and
don't you?
Holland back up at like
He's like 14
14-8.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's certainly no easy way to
Just
do
chalk
it.
it up. I'm not getting to him.
Right. So you're just
And there's no guarantee he will score when he comes back anyways. I
Right.
mean,
I will probably still
you'd
keep
say
Marmouche.
he
He's
would,
in my
but-
squad.
11 shots for Marmouche in the last 4 games, which is still, even if he was disappointing this past game, he's still number 1 on Manchester City for shots.
Mm-hmm.
De Bruyne is second, though, because De Bruyne's been playing so far forward. 10 shots for De Bruyne.
Interesting.
And De Bruyne's still equally creative as when he's playing deeper anyway, leading the team in chances created. So that's, to me, it's why you're safe with 2 guys. Marmouche is it's not a safe sell because of the matchup, but I don't know, man. I feel like if you have Gvardiol and De Bruyne, you're probably all right.
Have you hit confirm transfer yet? I did not.
Price went up.
Price just went up. Timber's price dropped. I had 0.1 in the bank. Now I'm at 0, making the Gardeval move.
Oh boy.
Holy crap. That was close.
Jeremy Doku,
Ouch.
Doku for if it does anything for you, assists in back-to-back games for him. Jeremy Doku, he's one of their he's one of their players. No, I think the whole thing is really Holland, and if you get Holland news, otherwise there's only 2. You already have the 3 Manchester City people.
Yeah.
The defenders. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to go to Ruben Diaz instead.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think that is a
KDB Gvardiol Diaz triple Manchester City.
Yeah.
That would be the only other way you could do it. Is Akanji back? He's
don't
back,
think so,
but I don't think is he ready to start?
I don't know. It's not worth talking about.
That's what I
anyhow.
mean. There's nobody.
just not.
There's nobody else. It's just those guys, and whether or not I just think the matchup is going to stop you from selling the guys that you have. The question then is just how good is the matchup? I would say too, one of the weird stats. Credit to FPL Harry for digging it up. Southampton in the past 6 weeks, the biggest defensive improvement of almost any Premier League team. They've conceded less XG in the past 6 games than Nottingham Forest has. So I guess it's not like Southampton. I mean, you're still targeting them.
Sure.
It's just that you're not. That perhaps they're spirited in a way that could be frustrating.
Newcastle. Good call.
Done talking about that, I guess.
You want to talk about Newcastle?
They're in the race. The race is on.
I think it comes down to the remaining schedule for them alone. Home Chelsea, at Arsenal, home Everton. Again, another schedule where you're like, I could take or leave that.
Sure.
If they win that Arsenal match, though, that is a huge one for them.
Do you have any Newcastle defender or goalkeeper?
No.
Yes.
Who?
Trippier.
Really?
I brought Trippier in.
Wow.
2 weeks
I
ago.
have Isak and Murphy.
Really?
I benched Murphy this past week because I was looking at his home and away stats. You want to see a funny thing? Go look at Murphy's home and away stats.
I don't want to look at anything with Jacob Murphy.
Murphy loves his home, his mama's cooking at home in Newcastle.
How many minutes did he play this week?
I'm not even sure.
Less than 60.
But he scored a 1.
Right. Because he played less than 60 minutes.
55 minutes.
Right. Jacob Murphy, to me, is I don't want him. I can't imagine buying him. And
He's been a consistent sub.
There have to be better players.
He usually makes it past there, but again,
maybe last week against Everton.
When they were home against Ipswich, had 6 points. Then they were away at Villa 2. Home to Palace, he had 14 points. Home to United, 5 points. One anomaly, they were away to Leicester, he had 16. Home Brentford, 5 points. Away to West Ham, 3 points. All his away games, with the exception of Leicester's, were low, and he was pointing in every single home game going back 7-8 match weeks.
Yep.
It's weird. I don't understand it.
Yep.
Yeah, I still wouldn't care.
At the moment, he's on my bench just because my other midfield is so strong, I can't find a spot for him. But I hope I don't come back to regret that.
You have Isak?
I do.
You do not.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I don't know why he played 90 minutes this week. I didn't dig into it too much. I just know that that's the only reason why he has points this week. Because he kicked a penalty kick in at
plus,
or near stoppage time.
But he's got it.
Right. I don't feel like selling him, but I'm not.
You're saying
No,
you could sell him. Would
I
you
disagree.
sell him
I would sell him.
You'd sell him for Chris Wood?
For Holland.
I don't want Chris Wood, and I'm really questioning whether or not I want anyone from Nottingham Forest at all. And I have Nico
They're getting
Williams.
a clean sheet this weekend. I got Milenkovic and Sells going. They're home to Leicester.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you that in the past
Jamie
6
Vardy's
weeks,
gonna
again,
score.
FPL Harry, over the past 6 weeks, Nottingham Forest have had the biggest decline in defensive data compared to their season average. Not only that, the numbers even this week, they should have lost 3-1 or 3-0 to Crystal Palace and somehow managed to eke out a 1-1. So it was a 2.7 XG for Crystal Palace compared to 0.7 XG for Nottingham Forest. Game ends 1-1. I get that the matchup says you buy him, but I don't know, man. There's a Vardy party waiting to happen.
So you're not starting Sells this week.
I don't have cells.
There's not a Vardy party happening.
Is it like
guess,
looking in a
man.
mirror sometimes when you look at Sells?
You're right. Look,
No.
I can't
And
argue
you're like,
those
oh,
stats.
what a bad
Again,
haircut.
the numbers are the numbers. I just don't.
What he did.
Just don't think it's happening.
Okay, I'm just saying Nottingham Forest has been poor.
Sometimes you
And
have to go.
they've been poorer as they go on, and the fact that they had to come back against Palace, and Eze hits the post, and it should have been more than one goal scored against them, and that's been their story for a while.
Do you think
the Greyhounds? I mean Eagles. They're getting tuned up for the Jamie Tart Derby that's going to be going on in the FA Cup final.
I guess. I think Oliver Glasner has been pretty clear that they are not backing off on anything.
Right.
That they are fit. They need it. They need to play their best players, and they
need to be tuned up for the Jamie Tart Derby.
is Alex Moreno going to play in that game?
Alex Moreno, I don't know if
Isn't he on Villa?
heard of him. The question, I didn't see anything official, but all those guys left the Crystal Palace game with some sort of knock. So Maria was knocked at one point. Milenkovic knocked at one point.
So Moreno might play.
They might be forced into playing one of those guys. So that's something definitely worth keeping an eye on. If for whatever reason,
all right,
because Murillo right now, according to PremierInjuries.com, basically it's an assessment. They're in the assessment phase.
Okay,
but
so
if he doesn't play, it's less good.
Why would you want to sell Isak? And who are you selling him for?
Wissa.
What if you already have Wissa?
Then I don't know what to tell you.
Who are your strikers currently?
I've got Isak, Mateta, Marmoush. The dumbest template picks in history.
I have Wissa, Isak, Marmoush.
Right. Yeah, playing the matchups. I'm less.
But you would.
I'm hesitant to sell.
You would rather
I'm
have.
hesitant to sell, and I can give you the Mateta numbers in a minute. They're not good, but I'm hesitant to sell Mateta when he's about to play Tottenham. I don't know that I want to get rid of any Crystal Palace person
going into
when they're
Tottenham.
about to play Spurs.
Crystal Palace defenders even? Tottenham can score.
Maybe.
Munoz already he dropped in price. I wish he hadn't lost a tenth on that, but I wasn't ready to make. I don't need to make a defensive player transfer.
Tottenham Hotspur have 38 points.
It's bad.
Wow.
They've scored a lot of goals though.
Good for them.
I don't know really what to do with Isak because.
But why? I mean, just curious. A lot of people own him.
So
why are you on the? I think I'm not selling him.
So first of all, home against Chelsea. Chelsea for the season have conceded the third fewest goals
At home?
overall.
Or period.
Wow.
Wow.
Which doesn't make sense to me. I would say Chelsea, just in general, the form that they've found. I mean, you're right.
You're right about that.
So even going back, like look what they did since game week 27. 4-0 win against Southampton, 1-0 win against Leicester, whatever. Terrible teams. They lose to you guys 1-0, which I don't even remember that game. How did you win 1-0 against Chelsea?
They're a crap team.
Then they win 1-0 against Spurs, a 0-0 against Brentford, somehow managed to give up 2 goals to Ipswich, but still pull a draw out of it. Win 2-1 against Fulham, win 1-0 against Everton, and then beat the absolute snot out of Liverpool and only give up a goal. So Chelsea...
That's not form. That's not great form.
Okay.
That's average form.
I'm saying that
he's talking defensively.
I'm saying they've conceded 2. The weirdest thing is that they conceded 2 to Ipswich. Other than that, they held every other opponent to 1 or 0.
Yeah.
Including Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who they beat decisively.
Just
obliterated.
Thrashing.
Cucurella absolutely locked down. Pocketed Salah easily for 90 minutes. It's as though he wasn't even playing.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was on the pitch.
I'm not saying that they're going to do the exact same thing because Newcastle's playing at home. I get it. And they need to win. But it's a Chelsea team that's playing certainly much better than they had been in the
Yes, I agree.
That's fair. That's absolutely
Does Chelsea have any players then that should be discussed?
Only whether or not you believe. I'm saying, like, you're not buying Jacob Murphy. You're not buying Gordon. You're not buying Harvey Barnes. So you're ignoring the Chelsea or the Newcastle midfield.
Okay.
I'm saying if you want to keep someone or if you have someone, it's Isak, and the penalties sway it. But either way, you're not going to. You're not buying a Newcastle defender.
Okay.
You're not buying Pope. So it's Isak, and if you want to get crazy and have Harvey Barnes or Anthony Gordon is basically what it comes down to for Newcastle.
Gotcha. Watch Murphy go off. I can't wait.
You will.
Bet on it then.
He's with me. He thinks he will. It's at home.
Home game for Jacob Murphy. Will Jacob Murphy score double-digit fantasy points against Chelsea? I say not even close.
I say he gets a goal and/or an assist.
No, I want double-digit points.
Yeah, I don't think I could go double digits, but I do think he will get a scoring involvement.
Hold on. It'd be a clean sheet and a goal gets him to...
Not enough.
I think you'll be lucky.
It'd have to be more than a goal.
I think you'll be lucky
to get a goal and an assist.
You'll be lucky
at least a goal and assist, and maybe not even a clean sheet.
Well, he could get bonus if it's like a 1-0 game. If it's a 1-0 game and if it's 1-0, he scores the goal, and he gets 3 bonus points. He can get to 11 and/or 2 with 10.
It's too much of a stretch. I think he will play well. I think he has a goal involvement, but I think
he has a goal involvement as well.
I think you'll be lucky to get 60 minutes out of him.
I think you'll get 60 minutes and a goal and/or an assist.
It sounds to me, Brian, that you feel very strongly about this and might want to bet about it.
I just think
goal involvement. Let's hear it. Yes or no?
No.
I think Jacob Murphy gets a goal and/or an assist, and I think he plays 60 minutes. Brian, what do you say?
I think 65, 71, 77. All right. 61, 64, 66, 55. I might even guess that he gets benched. They don't need him.
Okay.
They've got healthy other players. No, I'm not betting. I'm not betting that he gets benched. I'm saying I am betting that he has no goal involvement. And I'm saying
Okay.
I would be surprised if he even gets if
I'm
he
writing it
gets
down.
over 60 minutes. That's a win
Okay.
for Jacob Murphy.
All right. I mean, it's only one out of the last 6 games he didn't get 60 minutes.
Right. But this has been the threat of him for a long time now.
Gordon is feeling spry.
No, because Gordon is available again.
All right.
So
What's it, 35?
But
Magic
it's home
35.
Jacob Murphy. It's a lot of Jacob Murphy talk. All right. Chelsea. Any would you bring in a Chelsea defender, Brian?
a
Probably
Chelsea
not.
defender.
Not this week.
The question for Chelsea, question number 1 for Chelsea is: did Cole Palmer's goal, which a penalty, I get, but also looked good otherwise? Did that do enough for you to believe in him again?
Not this week, playing at Newcastle, but the next 2 weeks after that, home United at Forest.
Right.
So you asked the question in the wrong way. The real question is, did that goal do enough for Cole Palmer to believe in Cole Palmer?
Palmer's that he has said from the beginning.
It's
I
lip
don't
service.
care. I don't care what anyone says. I'm just playing my
idiots
game.
what the idiots online say. That's how he worded it in his aftermatch. He is playing like a guy who's lacking confidence, and he knows what to do, but nothing will come off.
Yeah.
He's not
Palmer got his groove back.
He's
this
not
week.
even attempting shots that he would have netted at the beginning of the season. So I think he probably is getting over that hump. This is not going to hurt him, but do I think it is going to just magically flip a switch in him? Probably not. The confidence just isn't quite there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, same number of shots in the last 4 games that Mo Salah has attempted.
And he sucks. He's not Saka. So
Saka's way better.
It's true.
Palmer 13 shots in the last 4 games.
You're right, Brian.
Tied for the most
those are
of
decent
tied for the
stats.
most of
and
any
they didn't really
midfielder.
go down. They didn't really go down, but the
He just wasn't converting.
wasn't just that he wasn't converting. He wasn't, but his I'd be interested. His XG probably went through the floor, didn't it? It had to have, because the shots he were taking were low, were all low percentage shots, and they were getting blocked, right? Whereas before he was finding openings when he was taking those shots. So he isn't taking a significantly lower number of shots. Just the shots he's taking are super low percentage shots.
That's
He is
interesting.
not-
Actually, in the last 4 games, he's still at a 1.74
That is really
XG.
surprising. Because I have actually I held on to him for way too long, and the reason why I
did too.
finally let go was because I looked at his performances and I looked at his decision making, and it was poor.
No, he was an easy sell weeks and weeks ago, but I think that's where this game, even if he didn't take the penalty, he hit the post late in the game. So it's not like he wasn't, and he
Agree.
looked good. And I just think, I don't know.
You're buying.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not doing it
I'm
this
saying that the last time I had him, I captained him in the game where he had his penalty saved against Leicester, which was one of the most painful single moments of the season for me.
I was hoping you would say my life.
No, I wouldn't say
That's so brutal.
that. For what it's worth, Enzo and Pedro Neto both outscoring Cole Palmer in the last 4 games. It's close, though. It's 22, 21, 19, respectively. So Cole only 2 points behind Enzo. Enzo leading the way there.
Enzo's
who
last
scored
3
again?
match weeks, 5, 6, 9.
Yeah. Madueke is the one who's doing all the work. So he's dokuing
But it's
or
not-
Salahing.
Well,
showing up
he
on
looks
the
good
fantasy
though.
sheet.
He actually looks like he knows what he's doing. Doku does not.
Last 4 games, 5 shots on target for Madueke, which is leading the team, and 11 shots in the box, which is also leading. More than Palmer, even though Palmer's taken more shots, Madueke's got more in the box. So, and also another weird stat for Madueke, 33 touches in the opposition box, which is number 1 on Chelsea by a mile. and second most.
He likes
for
to touchy.
Palmer 19 touches in the box. And then the only other question was, what does the schedule do? Are you buying a defender? No.
Not this week, but I think it's worth considering. With their last 2 matches.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've not conceded a lot of goals at all for a while now. Kukurea, then others. It's just the other guys are way cheaper. So
Chalaba's 4-4.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You could maybe, if you were picking just based on attacking potential, I suppose.
No.
But I just don't think you're. I just don't think you're picking any.
All right, who else is in the race? Villa? Is Villa in the race? Is the race
Forest,
on?
technically in Villa.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest for sure. But there's only one guy you're buying. I don't think you could go to the. I don't know. I guess you're going to buy a defender. People are going to buy the same people over and over again. I want to talk about Villa because in 2025, your number 2 scorer FPL points, Yuri Tielemans. And I know he was plugged by a few people for just a differential pick whenever they had all their double game weeks and stuff like that. I think he did fine in those game weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't awesome.
But Ollie Watkins, number 1 in 2025 for Aston Villa, 76 points. Yuri Tielemans, 68 points. So not that big of a gap. I know Watkins was in and out of the lineup, but Tielemans has outscored Morgan Rogers 68-60.
Last 5 match weeks, 6-6-7-2-11 for Rogers.
Tielemans, the 9th highest scoring midfielder.
I'm sorry, that was Tielemans' numbers.
Right. In 2025, he's 9th highest scoring midfielder. He now costs 0.2 less than Morgan Rogers. He has 24 shots in the calendar year, which is second only to Ollie Watkins, and he's tied for 3rd with nine shots on target.
Hey,
for Aston
their
Villa.
schedule's pretty decent. At Bournemouth, home Spurs, at United,
And he and
for Villa.
Rogers have created the same number of chances.
I think next week's the week to bring him in, though, isn't it?
I don't know. At Bournemouth, I guess it's this week. It's fine, but yeah, definitely in 2
The
weeks.
next 2 weeks are going to be good. Tottenham and United are both good matchups.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is Tielemans has been good all year this year, not just not the season.
Calendar year.
This calendar year, he's been extremely good, and at 5.5, like Morgan Rogers is going to be the easily the name value. Tielemans is 1.4%, or at least he was a little bit ago, 1.4% selected. I mean, that's
nobody. I'd rather have Tielemans at this point than Jacob Murphy.
You know what's funny is that that was the question I was going to
week.
ask you. That was the question I was going to ask you.
After this week.
Yeah, because the
I know
Chelsea
his
matchup
answer.
is great for
They're gonna.
Jacob
It's Murphy, Jacob Murphy, home Jacob Murphy.
It's a goal involvement and a bet win.
Yeah,
60 minutes.
I can't
Tonight
wait.
on 60 Minutes.
All right.
Real high
but
ceiling.
that's it for Villa.
Big high ceiling.
That's it for Villa.
No, Ollie Watkins. I'm
Are
not
you-
saying don't.
Are you going to him?
I'm not saying don't buy.
He's going to Kansa.
I'm not saying buy for sure, but I'm not saying don't buy him.
All right. Fair enough.
I
still like that.
Now that he's the only show in town, why wouldn't you go
Correct.
to him?
I still love Villa's schedule going out.
It's not the kind of guy. Watkins wouldn't be a do whatever it takes, break up your team however you can to
would
get
you like
him.
Watkins over Marmouche? Probably.
Watkins over Mateta.
It's all about the same.
Really?
Just because Watkins, just by numbers, like even this week, missed a big chance. Last 4 games, he's taken 8 shots. I just want the striker shooting more, and he was doing that in previous weeks. Like, it's just not. It's why like Mateta's numbers have they're off a cliff, and he's only playing. Mateta now we know isn't taking penalties. Mateta minutes are managed. So that's the other part. The thing with Mateta is more about like, it's not because Crystal Palace's form is bad. It's that I don't know, he lost like the thing that he had there for a while, and then I guess like his shooting magic is a little bit gone. So it's been the Eze show for Crystal Palace for a while. Honestly, Sarr's been very good. It's just that the point differential now is so massive. It's a annoying swing. No, it's just that Watkins, like, there's no threat to him. I don't know, like, you maybe could make the argument that Asensio is the better attacking pick.
No.
Mullen keeps getting minutes off the bench and being really good, but it's like 8 minutes off the bench. That's what I'm saying. Watkins' minutes are certain.
Correct.
So I don't know. All of those.
Does that include the races on? Does that conclude that?
Everyone's buying Chris Wood because of Green. They're seeing Green.
It's Leicester.
Right. So it's Leicester, fine.
He can't score against Leicester.
He can score against Leicester. Chris Wood can score against anyone. If the Martians invaded and you had to pick a striker,
you would want
to
Chris
be the
Wood.
team fighting against the Martians to save humanity and all of planet Earth. You would pick Chris Wood because he can score against anybody. I guess I don't see the. I understand why. It's all because of the matchup. I still feel like I would pick other people.
Okay.
And I think it's because of what I just said a little bit ago. They are generating
from Wolves. Would you take Cunha or Strand?
Not Strand. It's only Cunha.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, to me, seeing the way Nottingham Forest have played, like, whether it's nerves and like it's just they hit their ceiling, and you're gonna get like a goal from them the rest of the way. I don't know. I mean, you still play the matchup, and so that's why I understand why people are doing it. I don't know. I don't love it.
All right.
I'm not doing that. And then, yeah, like it's great. Nico Williams this week gets, again, I don't know what Nico Williams has to do to be the number one transferred in Nottingham Forest defender, because he gets the assist.
I would have transferred him in. I just had Milinkovic for so long.
Right. And Murillo scores the goal.
Of course.
Because why wouldn't he? It's all, and I was just glad it's not Ola Aina. That's all I really care about.
That's rude. All right. Let's talk about, oh, Lord.
It's just that I wish Elanga I wish he was an option. I would want to go to him.
He's just been ass cold.
Right. But that's what, to me, he's the guy.
Ass cold.
No, he would be the guy, like, I think he's been the most, I mean, he's such a great season. I just think you can't do it. So.
All right. Travis. No double.
I think that's it.
Chips.
For the racing teams.
Yeah. The race is over, Brian. The race was on.
No doubles. The Villa Tottenham game gets moved, so there is no double game week for the rest of the season. At this point, we have 3 match weeks. We talked previously about chip strategy and transfer strategy, and maybe holding on to some transfers to make sure that you can maximize those doubles. That is not going to be the case.
No, it's not at all. Use your transfers. Take hits. Take a lot of hits.
Go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I'm going to have to figure out where to use a triple captain. It's probably going to be game week 38.
What do you have left? Just triple captain?
Triple captain.
Bench boost is what I have left.
Yeah, same.
Since we're twinsies, when are we going to use the bench boost?
Final week, probably.
I was just looking at it. I might use it this week.
I thought about it, but I think I'm doing final week, and I'm going to play 6 forwards.
It's the Arsenal-Liverpool thing that's kind of keeping me off that.
Yeah. I don't have any of those players anyways. So strategy doesn't really change significantly as far as chips. You're going to play them when you're going to play them. You just don't have a double to hit.
Hopefully,
So
you
you're-
only have
so you're-
2 or 3 left.
So seriously, and hopefully it's not your assistant manager.
Oh yeah.
Because if you do, then you're in trouble.
Activate it now.
Well, or you just lost it because
Mm.
you can't play any other chips, which would kind of suck. So
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah. So strategy changes. Obviously, you're looking at matchups rather than looking for maximizing the number of matches. Use your transfers. Move on with your life. Cool.
You know what you could do? You could.
What could you do?
Let's just say you had your triple captain, bench boost, and assistant manager left. You could triple captain this week, bench boost next week, or vice versa, and then you could still play your assistant manager
Yeah.
in match week 38.
You're just not going to get.
I wouldn't recommend doing that
Because why?
because the
This
assistant
assistant manager
manager
has-
chip
yeah.
has by far the highest value
Yeah.
of the remaining.
That's
if you
good.
are
My-
in that,
if you have it, it's a good call.
if you have your
100%.
assistant manager
Play it
chip
now.
and any other chip remaining,
Burn the other chip. Use the assistant
burn
manager.
the triple captain, burn a bench boost,
And just play
assistant manager, and either pick someone that you know is going
Yes.
to win, or pick a team that is solid that can get the table bonus.
Yeah.
It's the difference.
See,
like,
I can't give
you'd have
advice
to-
on that because I played my chip so poorly that
My assistant manager.
it was like I didn't even
was-
have that chip. It's like everyone had it but me.
I mean, some of those swings were bad. Swings on the season, just crazy all over the place.
11, 23, 17 were the 3 assistant manager weeks that I got.
That's a lot of points.
Gosh.
That's a lot of points.
You get 15 points off a bench boost and you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Right. It's 51 points from
That's unreal.
from,
You're right,
from a
Brian.
manager. The odds of you getting 51 points from a triple captain or a bench boost is almost zero.
Wow.
Especially if your name is David Smith.
Jeez, where would I be with 50 more points?
That's your chips.
Okay. All right. Potables flying through
The pit is mightier.
the
Start the remaining teams at the top. Brighton, just for what it's worth, Joao Pedro still suspended this week. Not like he was a big consideration
Who?
for you to bring in. No, Joao Pedro. Remember him?
Vaguely.
Can't really advocate buying any Brighton player. Wolves, Liverpool, Tottenham, though, is fine. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The matchups. If that was another team, you would say, yeah, I'll take a shot at that. But because your choices are Matoma with a foot injury, Old Man River Welbeck, whether or not he's going to play at all.
He will.
He is on that
Adingra,
river.
Minta, good
Mintas
players.
look pretty good.
What was it? Adingra ate my hat?
Adingra ate my baby.
My baby.
Wait, really?
Overruled. That was my
That was his
That was
name.
my proposed team name, overruled by a young person who didn't understand the reference.
Yeah. But an old person didn't understand the reference either. Come on, Elaine. It was Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine did it.
Dingo ate your baby.
It was on Seinfeld. Did you say it was? You said it was Kramer that said that?
No.
No.
I didn't
I
make
said,
a
"Come
reference
on,
to any-
Elaine."
George didn't say
I
that.
didn't say come on, Elaine.
No, he
You're
Adingra
sick.
and Minta, both good players, but not really any.
Come on, Eileen.
No
There you
form,
go.
no numbers to really go off of. There's
Right.
not anybody there. You can't buy one of the defenders because I think it was like Dunk and Estupinian, whatever. No, I would just say
They don't
it
look
stinks
good
that
on
Brighton
defense.
is the form has dropped off. Although they did almost beat Newcastle,
They did. They played pretty well.
And the schedule is positive. So I wish there was a reason to go there. There just isn't.
Minta is about the only one I would consider on that group.
Bournemouth. It's the
Semenyo.
Evan Nielsen and Semenyo show to wrap up the season for them. And Villa at City, home Leicester for Bournemouth to close out the season. That's not that bad.
You don't like Housen?
You can do what you want.
4,
with the
7, 8, 1, 8.
You can do what you want and pick Housen and hope that he scores another goal.
I just gave you his points.
Right.
4, 7, 8, 1, 8.
And I'm saying he got an
Last
8
5.
against Arsenal because of a header. And if you want to count on defender goals for your points to end the season, Leicester.
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad. And he's not going to be on Bournemouth next year.
No,
he's going to be playing for Real Madrid probably.
Liverpool.
A goal and a bonus
TBD.
point and a yellow card for Evan Nielsen against Arsenal this week. In the last 4 games, he's taken the second most shots. He has the 4th most shots in the box. He's 5th for touches in the opposition box. He has 5 goals this year, the calendar year, from 9 shots on target. He's the anti-Semenyo.
It's pretty efficient.
I get why he's
And he was
not.
banned for part of it.
I get
no, it
why
wasn't.
he's
He
not
got
a
overturned.
top. Yeah, that's true. I get why he's not a top 3 transfer.
Is his next tattoo?
No, it's just that I don't understand why he's only the 8th most transferred in forward. Like this, it's Villa. All right, fine. He just scored against Arsenal. Arsenal certainly a better defense. Real life, on paper, however you slice it, they're better than Villa is.
Yes.
Manchester City can't stop anyone from scoring against them, and then they end the season with Leicester at home. Like, I'm
So you're going Evan
strongly considering Evan Nielsen.
Do you like him over Isak?
Who's a 3.7% selected guy. If you want to have any
Interesting.
soul or fun for the rest of your season, Evan Nielsen's your player.
Over Isak?
Isak's boring.
Okay. And he's highly owned.
Interesting.
But
Semenyo,
answer the question. You said he's boring. That's not answering the question. Would you take Evan
need to
Nielsen?
if I was remaking my front line, money no object, and if it was wild carding a front line, it would be
It'd be who?
Wissa, Evan Nielsen, and Holland.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if it would be Holland. But no, I'm just saying. Semenyo, Dave, even when, like, again, the troll job won't stop. Even when he's benched, he gets a attacking return, unlike Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
25 minutes against Arsenal gets when he threw the ball in, were you screaming? Did you know as soon as the ball left his throw-in hands that it was going to be a goal?
It was like Rory DeLapp. It was a throw.
What a perfect throw.
It was really good. I hate it.
It was really good.
I hate it so much.
Amazing also for Semenyo, probably the lowest goal per shot player the league has ever seen.
Better than Aubameyang?
For 30 weeks. And now he's got, in the last 4 games, he's taken 6 total shots. Has
Scored
2 shots on target and 2 goals.
That's efficient.
Mr.
Anti-efficient over there.
Last guy is not Housen. It's Dango Otara, 4.6, super differential. He's actually second on Bournemouth in the last 4 games for shots. He's tied for first on the team with Evan Nielsen for touches in the box in the last 4 games. He's number 1 for chances created on Bournemouth in the last 4 games. I don't know what you're going to do with any of that information except to say that he's playing really well. The attacking returns are going to Evan Nielsen and Semenyo, but just wanted to say Dango's actually the one
doing all the water carrying to the
leading the numbers,
similar to
Jacob Murphy,
Midway with
exactly.
Yeah, really, yeah.
We have to talk about Brentford, the hottest team in football. Was that what you were going to say?
No, he's
you were
done.
trying to wrap
He's
up.
about to pass out
Yeah.
over here.
No, it's just that like everyone.
Lack of sleep from the concert.
Bumo, price has gone up a couple times. He's at 43% selected, which is crazy. He
Blamo.
As
Boomo.
Bumo.
FPL graduates, FPL cornstarch, FPL
What did FPL
asparagus
Riz
stock,
say?
FPL Riz, FPL
These aren't actual names.
Universal
Riz is.
FPL. No, these are all accounts I'm making up off the top of my
Just
head.
checking.
No, FPL Graduates is real though.
Okay.
Along with many other people who pointed out that Brian
cornstarch.
Mbumo.
Be amazing.
Brian Mbumo is averaging 12.8 points per game this season against the bottom 3 teams.
Oh, buddy.
So if you got him, he's a captaincy. Certainly a captaincy
Bumo
decision.
or De Bruyne?
De Bruno.
Wissa, again, an obvious choice. It's Kevin Schade who I would really highlight here.
Schade.
5.1, again, another huge differential. Last 4 games for Brentford players, hear me. Points, Wissa 34, Bumo 27, Schade 25. Shots, Wissa 11, Bumo 9, Schade 8. Shots on target, Wissa 7, Schade 5, Bumo 2.
So you're buying Schade.
Box shots. Shots in the box, Wissa 11, Schade 8, Bumo 7. Wissa 6 big chances, Schade 5 big chances, Bumo 1 big chance.
Really? Every time I see Shade's name, I always think of the singer Sade.
Schade.
Yeah, Sade. Yeah.
XG, Wissa 2.65, Schade 1.99, Bumo way less. It's like 0.7. Touches in the box, Bumo 23, Schade 19, Wissa 17. Point being,
Would you
Bumo is 3.1 more expensive than Kevin Schade, and he is
Sade.
40% selected higher, and he has outscored Schade by 2 points in the last 4 games.
It's
So,
Scud.
all right.
This is
So,
penalties, obviously.
Sade or Bumo, who would you rather own? You're not owning both.
Why not?
Would
would own both.
Why would? I mean,
Would you? Is
they're
it
both
worth?
midfielders,
Brentford-
which is a
Is
little
it
bit weird,
worth a
but-
hit? What is Sade worth against the bottom half of the table? Is his numbers like Bumo's?
He does. He
I don't know.
He get a lot of minutes,
I
a
don't
lot more
think
minutes I expected
I
him
don't
to.
think I care. It's Ipswich,
you rather
Fulham,
start-
Wolves in the last 3 games
Would you
for
rather
Brentford, who are the most dangerous actual team in Europe. Not like
he got a 1 against
Tony
Ipswich last
Pulis's
time.
Arsenal.
That's
A 1
some
against
harsh words.
Ipswich. A 23 against Leicester.
23 against Leicester.
Yeah. An
Would
8
you
against
rather own,
Southampton.
Brian? Would you rather own for the rest of
3 against
for the rest of the
Leicester.
season? This is going to be fun. Sade or Salah?
I would take Salah, but
Would you?
But not because I like him.
Sade's our guy.
Here, let me give you a more realistic example here, Dave. I have Ismail Assar
Okay.
from Crystal Palace. I would save 0.6 by going from Sar to Schade this week. Without selling Salah or making 2 moves to sell a forward and then move
Right.
Rodgers or Sar up, because I wouldn't sell my other midfielders. I can't get to Bumo easily at all. So I'd have to sell, I could sell, maybe if I sold Isak to Wissa, that's like I think that's basically $3 sale.
Okay.
Then in that case, I could turn Rodgers or Sar into Bumo. But when I'm staring at numbers of Kevin Schade, who's on par scoring with Bumo in the last 4 weeks at least, not to mention, I'm sure I could dig into the numbers more. A better podcast would have probably done it for you. I'm just saying, on recent form, the numbers are even, or they favor Schade considerably, especially when it comes to actual scoring chances.
I hear that. Is it enough to move the needle to bring him in?
For me, yes.
Okay. All right. I love
So
it.
you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm probably taking a hit this week. I'm not sure how many hits, but it's going to be at least one.
All right, real quick. Do you care where you are in the mini league cup matches as that?
Oh,
cup is
I didn't
going
even
on?
look. I have paid zero attention to
You beat
cups.
me.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
By
I
3
wanted
points.
to bring that up at some point. You and Travis played each other this week in the FPL. Well, it's not the FPL America Cup. It's our mini league cup.
Mhm.
And
It was close.
you won by 3.
Yeah.
51-54. I beat the this gave me great satisfaction to beat Elliot
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because
okay.
he hasn't paid attention to his team in
He's
like
done.
4 weeks.
He's doing SOLs at school.
Yeah, he's
not.
he's done. But you know what? I don't care, Elliot. Kick rocks, kid. I beat you this week, and I'm beating you in the table. Hey, this is a marathon game. This is a man's game. This isn't a boy's game. You just can't, play 4 or 5 weeks and then just shut it down. You gotta hang in there.
Lots of people going to Collins as a defender for Brentford. It's Kayode, Kayode, K-A-Y-O-D-E.
If only there was a
Coyote. If we were an old podcast, we would have done this before.
All right.
Has started a bunch of games here for Brentford. He's a little cheaper than Collins, and honestly, the numbers, there's not a lot between them. Just Collins has 2 assists, and Kayode has got 1. So, just if you were considering a Brentford defender, I wouldn't necessarily go straight for Collins. You have a guy who's extremely good playing on the other side, starting for them.
I just want to bring this up. Your matchup, because I know you probably haven't paid attention. In our mini league cup, you're playing league leading League Damien.
Oh,
And
Good luck.
even more reason to go differential.
But is it worth a hit?
I honestly, at this
It
point,
could be.
it's
Don't
not.
care. You have to. You got to make moves.
Yeah. I was gonna say something at Crystal Palace. I don't know. I did want to say just that Andy Martin, FPL tactician, troll of the century, just was the one who brought it up, just to say, look, the Mateta's form, some of the form for Crystal Palace players dropped off, but they've played some of the better. They've played some of the better defenses recently. Now they're about, like he said, Spurs away after they play in the Arctic Circle tomorrow night.
Above the
Doesn't
Arctic
seem
Circle.
like
That's
the
true.
right time to sell him, though.
Gotcha.
So I think that's where I'm like, I don't know. My computer just died.
No way.
Yeah,
That's impossible.
dead.
It's good. Let's move to night moves and captains, since Brian has ran out of things to talk about.
Night moves and captains. I've already said mine. I sold Timber for Gardeval. I, at the moment, am captaining De Bruyne, and I am vicing Bumo, and that might change.
I sold Munoz for Guardiola.
Okay.
And I currently have my captain on Vissa. And
Really?
Yep, captain on Vissa. With my vice on Bumo, that may change, but I think Vissa is where I want to go.
Okay. Interesting. Brian, any idea who you're captaining this week?
My captain was currently on De Bruyne. I don't know if I'll change that.
Yeah. That's where mine is, but Bumo.
Do you have any transfers that you're going to make, that you know you're going to make? Shada sounds like maybe one of them.
Yeah, but it's mostly because the way that I had my lineup set, it's one of those lineups where I'm like, I kind of like that. I don't want to move necessarily. Like, I have Salah benched right now.
That's where he belongs.
I
Playing
have
second
Morgan
fiddle.
Rogers in there. I think it was kind of hedging against, all the Crystal Palace players are in there. Morgan Rogers at Bournemouth, that's probably going to be Salah. It's just not. It was just the kind of matchup where I was like, I
I
don't.
hear you.
What's Salah going to do
Is it worth
against Arsenal?
All right. Is Eze worth a hit?
Eze,
Mm-hmm.
it depends who you're selling.
Murphy.
I would
100%.
I would sell Murphy for Eze for a hit.
Would you?
Yeah, I would do that on the pod. Definitely knock those points down, Dave. No, I mean, I think Eze's.
Would you then start Eze over Salah?
If you're not gonna start him, you do not
Understood.
transfer him now.
Understood.
There's no sense.
So
Right.
I got Bumo, De Bruyne, Bowen, Salah. And then I'm starting Vissa, Isak, and Marmouche. So would you start Salah over Marmouche or Eze over Salah,
thing.
Marmouche, Eze? Who you going with, or Isak?
Probably Eze over even Salah, I would say.
I think Salah at home against Arsenal is just as bad as Isak at home against Chelsea.
I would
I
agree
think
with
those
that.
are both terrible.
They're not great.
And you could flip a coin on them because they could each get 2. The edge is if Salah somehow manages to get that clean sheet point, which doesn't seem like neither
I think
team
Salah
seems like
gets
they're
a
in
penalty at home.
I just don't think either team's really in the mood to keep a clean sheet. So Isak play Liverpool's got the least to play for there.
Correct.
In real life, they're the least to play
Palace
for.
has nothing to play for.
But I'm saying that home against Arsenal needs to win
Yes.
to protect second. Chelsea and Newcastle both need to win
Correct.
to stay up
Relevant.
top.
Yes.
So the tightness of that I would imagine it's not how's that an open game? Newcastle's home where they're objectively tougher than they are anywhere else.
True.
Chelsea is in significantly better defensive form recently than they've been but they've been solid all season. It's just gone kind of under the radar.
So you think it's worth
floundered.
a hit for Eze and then bench Isak?
I would way rather play Eze against the worst Spurs team that probably anyone will ever see.
Eze's also coming off a 9 and 10.
Yeah, and Eze is clearly the guy who's now back on penalties. To me, I feel like I would want to play the matchup on that one. And it's the reason why, I don't love Marmouche, but how in the world do you sell anyone ahead of Southampton? You can't do it.
No, you cannot.
So,
all right. Well, I think that's gives me something to consider.
Indeed, it does.
Other people are going to be thinking that same thing, Brian. That's good stuff. All right, gentlemen. Good luck the rest of this week. All of you listening and or watching for the FPL America podcast. This is David Smith. Until next time.